First up, the 1949 Abraham Lincoln Wheat Penny, specifically the no mint mark version in very fine condition. If you've ever wondered what your old pennies might be worth, this video is for you. The Lincoln Wheat Penny, first introduced in 1909, celebrates the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth. Its iconic design features the profile of Lincoln on the obverse, and two wheat stalks framing the words 1 cent on the reverse, a design that remained until 1958. The 1949 issue is one of the later wheat pennies and holds a special place among collectors now. Why focus on the 1949 no mint mark penny? Well, that's because these were minted in Philadelphia, and the absence of a mint mark means it's from the original and primary mint facility, which adds a bit of historical weight. In 1949, pennies were minted in 3 locations: Philadelphia no mint mark, Denver D, and San Francisco S. Generally, the Philadelphia no mint mark coins are the most common, but that doesn't mean they're not valuable. Especially in higher grades, collectors look closely at the mint marks because it affects rarity and value. The 1949 no mint mark penny is fairly plentiful in circulated conditions, but when you find one in very fine condition or better, that's where the value starts to climb. Grading coins is an art and a science. Very fine, or VF, is a mid-grade condition on the Sheldon scale, which ranges from 1 to 70. A coin graded VF20 to VF35 shows moderate wear on the high points, but details are still sharp and readable for the 1949 Lincoln Wheat Penny. A very fine condition means you'll see clear details on Lincoln's hair, jawline, and the wheat stalks on the back, though some light wear is evident. These coins are quite desirable because they show strong appeal while still being affordable. Too many collectors. So, what's the current market value? As of 2025, a 1949 Lincoln Wheat Penny without a mint mark in very fine condition generally sells for around $370 in everyday retail or online marketplaces. That might not sound like a lot, but remember, this penny was originally worth just 1 cent. The key here is condition. In circulated, worn condition, it's worth just face value or a bit more. But when you move into higher grades like extremely fine or mint state, the value can jump significantly, sometimes up to $150 or more. Also, certain varieties or errors from 1949 can be worth even more, but for the standard no mint mark penny in very fine condition, expect a modest but steady value. If you're on the hunt, check coin rolls, old collections, or even your loose change. It's amazing how many of these pennies are still out there, just waiting to be discovered. When you find one, handle it carefully. Avoid cleaning your coins because cleaning can drastically reduce their value. Store them in protective holders or coin flips to keep them safe from scratches, dirt, and humidity. Lincoln Wheat pennies aren't just valuable, they're a piece of American history. They tell stories from the early to mid-20th century and commemorate one of America's greatest presidents. Plus, because they were minted for nearly 50 years, there's a wide variety of dates, mint marks, and errors to collect, making the hobby both fascinating and rewarding. So, to wrap up, the 1949 Abraham Lincoln Wheat Penny no mint mark in very fine condition is a valuable little piece of history that could be worth a few dollars or more, depending on its condition. It's definitely worth keeping an eye out for in your collection or your pocket change.
Lincoln Wheat Penny is one of the most iconic and widely collected coins in American history, introduced in 1909 to honor the centennial of Abraham Lincoln's birth. This penny marked the first time a U.S. president was featured on circulating coinage. Designed by Victor David Brenner, the coin features a profile of Lincoln on the obverse and 2 stalks of wheat flanking the words 1 cent on the reverse. The wheat reverse was used until 1958, when it was replaced by the Lincoln Memorial design. Among the many years of production for the Lincoln Wheat Penny, the 1945 issue is especially notable, due to its high mintage and its connection to the final months of World War II. In this video, we'll focus on the 1945 Lincoln Wheat Penny without a mint mark, meaning it was struck at the Philadelphia Mint. We'll explore its history, examine its characteristics, and take a close look at its current value in the numismatic market specifically. In good circulated condition, the year 1945 was a significant time in American and global history. The Second World War was drawing to a close, and the United States was transitioning from a wartime to a peacetime economy. In terms of coin production, materials were still being conserved due to wartime needs. However, by 1945, the U.S. Mint had returned to using its standard bronze composition for the Lincoln cent. This alloy consisted of 95% copper and 5% tin and zinc. This was a change from the previous 2 years, 1943 and 1944, when zinc-coated steel and recycled shell casings, respectively, had been used for penny production due to copper shortages. In 1945, the Philadelphia Mint produced over 1 billion Lincoln wheat pennies. To be exact, the total mintage for the 1945 penny, without a mint mark, was approximately 1,040,515,000 coins. This massive production run means that the coin is not considered rare by mintage numbers alone. However, collectors still seek out examples in high grades or with unique features such as errors or varieties. When evaluating the value of a 1945 Lincoln wheat penny, condition is one of the most important factors. For this discussion, we are focusing on coins in good condition. In numismatic grading terms, good condition typically refers to coins that have seen significant circulation, but still retain identifiable design details. On a scale of 1 to 70, these coins would fall near the lower end, usually between grades G4 and VG8. At this level, the date and major design features are visible, though the finer details are worn smooth. Because of the coin's high mintage, and the fact that many have survived, a 1945 Lincoln penny in good condition is quite common. In today's market, the value of such a coin typically ranges from 1 cent to 10 cents. In most cases, a circulated example in average good condition will sell for about 3 to 5 cents. Dealers may buy these coins in bulk or offer them in grab bags for beginner collectors. While the value may seem modest, there are still reasons to hold on to or collect them, especially for educational or starter sets. There are also a few special considerations that can affect the value of a 1945 Lincoln wheat penny even in good condition. One of those factors is the presence of errors or varieties. Mint errors such as double dies, off-center strikes, and clipped planchets can greatly increase a coin's value, even if the coin is otherwise heavily circulated. For instance, a 1945 penny with a dramatic double die obverse could be worth several dollars or more, depending on the visibility and severity of the error. However, such varieties are relatively rare, and each coin must be evaluated individually. Another aspect to consider is the coin's eye appeal and overall preservation. Even within the category of good condition, some coins may have fewer nicks, scratches, or discoloration than others. A well-preserved, good condition coin with an even brown tone and no corrosion or verdigris might be more attractive to a collector than a coin with heavy spotting or damage. Although this difference may not translate into a substantial price difference, it can still influence a buyer's decision. So, why are people still interested in 1945 Lincoln wheat pennies if their market value is low? For many collectors, it's not just about the financial return. The 1945 penny offers historical significance, especially as a wartime artifact. It connects collectors to a pivotal moment in American and world history. It's also a tangible piece of Americana that has passed through countless hands over the past 80 years. Moreover, collecting Lincoln cents is a popular entry point into the world of new. A 1945 penny may be the first coin a young collector finds in their pocket change or a family member's old coin jar. For those interested in collecting or investing, it's important to understand that coin values are dynamic and influenced by several market factors. These include supply and demand, metal prices, collector trends, and auction results. Websites such as PCGS, Price Guide, NGC, Coin Price Guide, and recent eBay sales can provide updated information on current market values. Still, for coins in good circulated condition, large shifts in value are unlikely unless a major error or unique characteristic is discovered. If you happen to come across a 1945 Lincoln penny without a mint mark, and you're curious about its worth, the first step is to assess its condition. If the coin shows significant wear, but the date and major features are still visible, it falls into the good condition range. Such a coin is worth a few cents to a collector or dealer. It may not make you rich, but it is still a meaningful piece of history. If you're lucky enough to find one in better condition, such as fine, very fine, or uncirculated, then the value could rise accordingly. In fine to very fine condition, a 1945 Lincoln penny might fetch 10 to 20 cents. In uncirculated or mint state condition, values can range from $1 to several dollars, depending on the grade. Coins graded MS65 or higher, with strong luster and minimal marks, can command premium prices, especially from grading certified services. In summary, The 1945 Lincoln wheat penny without a mint mark in good condition is a common but historically significant coin. Its value today typically ranges from 1 to 10 cents, with most examples selling around 3 to 5 cents. While not a rare treasure, it remains an important piece of American numismatic heritage and is a great addition to any coin collection, whether you collect for fun, for history, or for investment. The Lincoln wheat cent remains a timeless and rewarding pursuit. Asterisk, asterisk.
Next up, the 1956 Abraham Lincoln wheat penny without a mint mark, even if it's in damaged condition. Believe it or not, these coins can still hold surprising value, and I'm here to tell you why the Lincoln wheat penny is a beloved coin in the United States. Minted from 1909 all the way to 1958, the obverse features the iconic profile of Abraham Lincoln, while the reverse boasts the stalks of wheat, a symbol of prosperity in America during that era. The 1956 penny is one of the last wheat pennies made before the design switched to the Lincoln Memorial in 1959 and 1956. Pennies were primarily minted in Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. The mint mark, or the absence of one, tells us where the penny was made. A penny without a mint mark was minted in Philadelphia, which did not use a mint mark until later years. Now here's the interesting part. The 1956 Philadelphia penny is incredibly common in circulated condition. But what about those that are damaged or worn? Can they still have value? The answer is yes, especially for collectors who want to fill out their sets or find interesting varieties. Damage on coins can include scratches, dents, corrosion, discoloration, and even cleaning marks that reduce their value. But some damage types affect value more than others. For the 1956 Lincoln wheat penny, common damage includes environmental wear from circulation, small scratches, and sometimes corrosion from improper storage. Even with these imperfections, many damaged pennies can still be collectible. While most 1956 no mint mark Lincoln wheat pennies in damaged condition won't make you rich, they're still a cool piece of American history, and if your penny shows any kind of minting error, it could surprise you with a nice payday.
Next up, the Lincoln wheat penny is one of the most widely recognized coins ever produced by the United States Mint, issued from 1909 to 1958. These 1-cent pieces have become a favorite among collectors and history enthusiasts alike. One of the more commonly encountered years in this series is 1957. In this video, we'll be focusing specifically on the 1957 Lincoln wheat penny that has no mint mark and is in extra fine condition. We'll explore its background, characteristics, collector interest, and most importantly, what it's worth in today's market. The 1957 Lincoln wheat penny without a mint mark was struck at the Philadelphia Mint. That year, over 282 million pennies were minted in Philadelphia alone. This high mintage means that the coin is relatively common, especially compared to earlier dates or rare mint-era coins. Despite its abundance, there is still collector interest, particularly when the coin is in better conditions, such as extra fine, uncirculated, or mint state. To better understand the value of a 1957 penny in extra fine condition, let's begin by defining what extra fine means in coin grading terms. Extra fine, often abbreviated as XF or F, is a grade that falls on the upper end of circulated coins. It's above very fine and below about uncirculated. An extra fine penny will still show sharp details in Lincoln's hair and the wheat stalks on the reverse. Some of the original mint luster may even be visible, but there will be light wear on the high points of the design. For a coin that has circulated for decades, an extra fine grade indicates that it was well preserved. Now, the absence of a mint mark on the 1957 penny means that it was minted in Philadelphia. That detail can be important for collectors because different mints often produced coins in varying quantities and with varying levels of die quality. However, in the case of 1957, both the Philadelphia and Denver mints produced a large number of wheat pennies, with the Denver mint using the D mint mark. Because the 1957 Lincoln penny is not a rare coin by itself, condition becomes the most important factor in determining value. For coins in extra fine condition, there is some collector demand, though prices remain modest due to the large number of coins still in circulation or stored away in collections. As of today's market, the average value of a 1957 Lincoln wheat penny without a mint mark in extra fine condition ranges between 10 and 20 cents. That's right, while the coin is over 65 years old and has historical significance. Its sheer abundance keeps the market value low for anything less than mint state. That said, Some collectors are willing to pay a little more for especially attractive specimens, coins with unusual toning, or those that have strong strike characteristics and minimal wear. In cases like these, an extra fine 1957 penny might sell for up to 50 cents or more in retail environments, such as local coin shops or online marketplaces like eBay. But typically, 10 to 20 cents is a realistic range for individual coins, without any rare errors or unusual features. Now let's take a moment to consider what makes a 1957 Lincoln wheat penny more valuable than usual. While a regular extra fine example may only be worth a few cents over face value, there are exceptions in the form of error coins. Examples of such errors include doubled dies, off-center strikes, die cracks, or repunched mint marks. However, since the Philadelphia version of the 1957 penny lacks a mint mark, repunched marks do not apply here. If a 1957 Lincoln wheat penny without a mint mark happens to show a double die, particularly on the date, the lettering, or Lincoln's P, could be worth significantly more. In such cases, values can climb to several dollars or more, depending on the severity of the error and its visibility. These coins are usually identified by specialists or sent to grading services like PCGS or NGC for authentication and certification. Another scenario where a 1957 penny can command a higher price is when it has been professionally graded in high mint state conditions. A coin that earns a grade of MS65 or higher, meaning it is in mint condition with full original luster and no wear, can be worth several dollars or even more, depending on the buyer and market trends. But again, this is outside the extra fine condition we're focusing on in this video. So why do collectors bother with coins like the 1957 wheat penny if they aren't particularly valuable? The answer lies in the historical and educational appeal. The wheat penny series marks the first time Abraham Lincoln appeared on a circulating U.S. coin, and it replaced the Indian head cent that had been in use since 1859. The design, created by Victor David Brenner, was introduced in 1909 to mark the centennial of Lincoln's birth. Collectors often seek to build complete sets of Lincoln wheat pennies, including every year and mint mark from 1909 to 1958. The 1957 penny plays a role in completing those sets, and while it may not be a rare key date, it's essential for achieving a full run. Additionally, the wheat reverse design was discontinued after 1958, replaced in 1959 by the Lincoln Memorial reverse, making the final years of the wheat penny series especially nostalgic for many collectors. In terms of selling a 1957 penny in extra fine condition, it's important to know where and how to sell it. Individual coins in this condition may not attract high bids, but if you have a roll of similar quality coins, you may find interest from dealers or bulk buyers. Selling in person, at coin shows, local shops, or through online auctions are all viable options. Still, be prepared for modest offers unless you can prove the coin has something special such as an error, toning, or unusually sharp strike. To summarize, the 1957 Lincoln wheat penny without a mint mark in extra fine condition is not rare and does not command a high market value. On average, such a coin is worth between 10 and 20 cents in today's market. However, it remains an accessible and historically meaningful piece for collectors and is often used to teach beginners the basics of coin collecting, grading, and thus mint history. While it may not bring big money, its role in American numismatism is significant, and its classic design and long legacy continue to make it a staple of many coin collections. If you find one in your change, it's worth holding on to if not for profit, then for its connection to an earlier time in American currency.
Next up, the Abraham Lincoln wheat penny from 1944. But not just any 1940 for penny. We're talking about the 1940 for Lincoln wheat penny without a mint mark. And yes, even in dirty condition could this humble coin be worth more than you think. Stay tuned as we uncover its history, rarity, and current market value in today's dollars. Let's jump right in. The Lincoln wheat penny is a classic favorite among collectors. First introduced in 1909 to commemorate Abraham Lincoln's 100th birthday, it features the wheat ears on the reverse side, which were used until 1958. The 1940 for penny is particularly interesting because it was minted during World War II, a time when metals were in high demand for the war effort. The 1940 for Lincoln wheat penny was primarily minted using recycled copper from spent shell casings, making these coins historically significant. That year, the majority of the pennies were struck at the Denver Mint, denoted by a D mint mark, with a smaller number from Philadelphia, which did not use any mint mark. The Philadelphia mint coins are identified by the absence of a mint mark. A key detail for collectors is whether the coin has a mint mark. The D mint mark stands for the Denver Mint, A 1940 for penny without any mint mark means it was struck in Philadelphia. While this was common, the Philadelphia Mint produced millions of these coins, so at first glance, you might think these pennies are quite common and not valuable when it comes to coin collecting. Condition usually makes the biggest difference. In value, clean, shiny coins with no wear can be worth much more. But what about those dirty, worn, or circulated pennies? Surprisingly, even dirty 1940 for Lincoln pennies can hold some value, especially if they're genuine and have no mint mark. Collectors sometimes overlook these pennies because they don't look perfect, but there's a growing interest in coins with authentic history and character. However, if your 1940 for penny has any rare errors, unusual color variations, or particularly nice luster beneath the grime, the value can rise significantly, sometimes reaching several dollars. If you find a dirty 1940 for Lincoln penny without a mint mark that exhibits any of these errors, it could be worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars, depending on rarity and condition. A quick word of caution: if you find a dirty 1940 for penny, don't rush to clean it with harsh chemicals or scrubbing. Cleaning coins improperly can reduce their value drastically. Instead, if you want to improve its look, gently soak it in distilled water and use a soft cloth. Or better yet, leave it as is and let a professional numismatist assess it. So, while the 1940 for Abraham Lincoln wheat penny without a mint mark in dirty condition isn't likely to make you a millionaire, it's still a neat piece of history and worth checking out in your collection. These pennies remind us of a different era, a time when coins were made from war materials and passed through countless hands.
Next up, the Lincoln wheat penny is one of the most iconic coins in American numismatic history. First minted in 1909 to commemorate the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth, it was the first U.S. coin to feature a real person's image. Among the many dates and mint marks in the series, the 1951 Lincoln wheat penny with the S mint mark is one that often piques the interest of collectors, especially when found in circulated or dirty condition. Today, we'll take a closer look at this specific coin, its features, and how much it's really worth in today's market. Let's begin with the basics. The 1951 S Lincoln wheat penny was struck at the San Francisco Mint. In total, just over 136 million of these coins were produced. While that might sound like a high number, many of these coins were put into circulation and stayed there for years. As a result, finding a 1950 ONS penny in pristine condition is much less common today. However, what about those coins that were not kept safe in collections? The ones that have seen years of use and commerce, left forgotten in drawers, piggy banks, or even buried in the dirt. These are what we often call dirty or circulated coins. They show signs of wear, discoloration, scratches, and sometimes corrosion. Despite their condition, they can still have value though. That value depends heavily on a few key factors. The first factor is demand. The 1950 UNS penny is not a rare date by itself, but it does hold interest for those trying to complete a Lincoln wheat cent collection. Most collectors look for at least one example from each year, and mint mark. As such, there is always a steady demand for coins like the 1951S. The second factor is condition. Professional coin grading agencies use a scale from 1 to 72 grade coins, with 70 being a perfect, uncirculated example. Dirty or circulated coins typically fall within the lower end of this scale, between grades 1 and 20. These lower grade coins are considered good to fine condition, with visible wear and limited detail. Even if the coin is dirty, it can still retain some of its design, which can help identify it and assess its grade. A coin in extremely dirty condition may not be graded professionally unless it's part of a larger batch or collection, but that doesn't mean it has no value. On the contrary, many everyday people discover these coins and want to know whether they should hold on to them or sell them in circulated condition, which includes most dirty coins found in change or storage. The 1950 OS penny usually ranges in value from 3 cents to about 25 cents. The lower end reflects heavy wear or severe discoloration. The higher end of that range applies to coins with less damage, where most of the details are still visible even if the coin is not visually appealing. In the current market, collectors or bulk buyers often purchase wheat pennies by the pound or in rolls. A typical roll of 50 circulated wheat cents, including various dates and mint marks, might sell for $2 to $4. That breaks down to roughly 4 to 8 cents per coin. Therefore, if you're looking to sell a single dirty 1951 S penny, you can reasonably expect to receive about 5 cents, unless there is something unusual or rare about the coin. That brings us to another consideration: errors. Sometimes, even a dirty or worn coin can be valuable if it contains a mint error. These can include things like doubled dies, off-center strikes, die cracks, or repunched mint marks. While these errors are not common for the 1951S penny, they do exist. A 1951S with a visible and verified error can be worth several dollars or more, depending on the severity and visibility of the flaw. If you suspect your coin might have an error, it's worth having it looked at by a knowledgeable collector or local coin dealer. Even in dirty condition, a rare mint error can make your coin significantly more valuable. Now, let's talk about cleaning. Many people think that cleaning a dirty coin will increase its value. Unfortunately, this is almost always the opposite. Cleaning a coin, especially using abrasive materials, can scratch or damage its surface. Even if the coin looks shinier afterward, it loses value in the eyes of serious collectors. The natural patina and signs of age are part of the coin's history and appeal. So, if you find a dirty 1951S penny, it's best to leave it in its original condition, unless advised otherwise by a professional. Another common question is whether it's worth getting such a coin graded. The short answer is, probably not. Professional grading services like PCGS or NGC charge fees that far exceed the value of a low-grade 1951S penny. Unless your coin has an unusual error or is in remarkably high condition for its age, it's not economical to have it graded individually. That said, there are always exceptions. Some high-grade 1951S pennies have sold at auction for substantial amounts. In mint state condition, meaning the coin looks almost exactly as it did when it left the mint, these coins can fetch $5 to $20 or more. And if the coin is graded, at the top end, such as MS67 with a red color designation, it can sell for several $100s. However, finding such a coin in the wild is extremely rare, especially if the coin is already dirty and circulated. In summary, a dirty 1951S Lincoln wheat penny has modest value. Most examples in circulated condition are worth between 3 and 10 cents, with better-looking coins possibly reaching 25 cents. If you have multiple wheat pennies, including the 1951S, you might consider selling them as a group or roll. While not a fortune, these coins can still be fun to collect, trade, and learn from. The 1950 ON's penny also represents a piece of American history, minted during the post-war years, circulated during a time of economic growth, and handled by people from many walks of life. Its worn surfaces and dirty patina may hide its age, but also reflect decades of real-world use. So, the next time you come across a dirty old penny with an S mint mark and a 1951 date, don't dismiss it. It may not be rare or highly valuable, but it carries a story and still holds some worth in today's coin market.
Next up, the 1953D Lincoln wheat penny. While many of us might overlook this coin, it holds a fascinating history and can be quite valuable, especially when found in extra fine XF condition. So, let's explore what makes this coin special and how much it's worth in today's market. The Lincoln wheat penny was first introduced in 1909 to commemorate the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth. The 1953D version was minted in Denver, with a total of 700,515,000 coins produced that year. Despite the high mintage, certain factors can make specific coins more valuable than others. Coin grading is a standardized system used to assess the condition of a coin. The extra fine grade, often abbreviated as XF, indicates that the coin shows minimal wear. In this grade, the design details are sharp, and only slight traces of wear are visible on the high points. This condition is crucial for collectors, as it ensures the coin retains much of its original detail and appeal. As of 2025, the value of a 1953D Lincoln wheat penny in extra fine condition varies based on several factors, including demand and market trends. On average, coins in this grade can be valued between $100. However, prices can fluctuate, and it's always a good idea to consult current market listings for the most accurate valuations. If you're looking to purchase or sell a 1953D Lincoln wheat penny in extra fine condition, consider reputable platforms like eBay, where collectors frequently trade coins. Always ensure the authenticity of the coin and the credibility of the seller. The 1953D Lincoln wheat penny, especially in extra fine condition, is a testament to the rich history of American coinage. While it might not be as rare as some other coins, its value lies in its condition, design, and the story it tells. If you come across one in your collection or change, take a moment to appreciate its significance and potential worth.
Next up, the 1947 Lincoln wheat penny without a mint mark is a coin that captures the attention of both beginner and experienced coin collectors. While it may seem like a common coin at first glance, its value can vary significantly depending on several key factors such as condition, coloration, and market demand. In this video, we'll explore the background of the 1947 Lincoln Wheat penny, what makes it special, and what you can realistically expect it to be worth today, especially if yours is in black-toned circulated condition. To begin, let's start with a brief history of the Lincoln Wheat penny series, first issued in 1909 to honor the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth. The wheat penny quickly became an iconic piece of American coinage. Designed by Victor David Brenner, it features a portrait of Abraham Lincoln on the obverse and 2 wheat stalks on the reverse, symbolizing prosperity and agriculture. The wheat penny was minted until 1958, after which it was replaced by the Lincoln Memorial reverse in 1959. The 1947 wheat penny was minted just 2 years after the end of World War II, during a period when the United States was recovering from wartime production restrictions. That year, the Philadelphia Mint produced over 190 million Lincoln Wheat pennies. Since Philadelphia minted coins bear no mint mark, a 1947 penny without a mint mark originated from this facility. Because of the high mintage, the 1947 no-mint mark penny is generally considered a common date. Millions of these coins were released into circulation, and many still exist today. However, that doesn't mean all examples are created equal. Their value depends significantly on the coin's condition, color, and whether any errors or unique characteristics are present. When discussing condition, coin collectors use a grading scale that ranges from poor to mint state. A coin in poor condition will show heavy wear, with much of the design worn away. On the opposite end, a mint state coin will appear nearly flawless, with full detail and original luster intact. The value increases dramatically as the grade improves. Most coins found in everyday circulation are in lower grades such as good, very good, or fine. These circulated coins have lost much of their original shine and have various degrees of wear. While these lower grade coins typically have low market value, there are still factors that may affect the price, including color or toning. Now let's talk about black-toned Lincoln Wheat pennies. A black appearance on a copper coin usually indicates either natural oxidation over time or environmental damage. Copper is a reactive metal, and exposure to moisture, air, and chemicals can result in a dark brown to black tone. In most cases, this is not desirable to collectors who prefer red or red-brown coins in higher grades. However, there are exceptions. If a black-toned Lincoln penny shows even wear and has no serious damage, it may still be collectible as a filler coin or for someone completing a set on a budget. But it's important to note that in the grading world, black coloration due to oxidation is often considered environmental damage. As such, these coins are usually classified as damaged or impaired, which limits their value. So what is a realistic value for a 1947 Lincoln Wheat penny without a mint mark in black-toned circulated condition? In today's market, such a coin will generally have a value between 1 cent and 5 cents. That's right because of its high mintage and the condition issues associated with black-toned coins. The base market value is quite low. Most coin dealers and collectors consider these coins to be of low numismatic interest unless they have rare features like die errors, off-center strikes, or doubled dies. There are a few special cases where the value could increase slightly. For example, if the coin has a strong strike with full wheat lines on the reverse and has an even, natural black tone without corrosion, it might sell for 10 to 25 cents to a niche collector. Some collectors are specifically interested in toning variations, including dark-toned coins, and may pay a bit more for well-preserved examples. On the other hand, coins with pitting, surface corrosion, or signs of being cleaned or artificially darkened are typically worth only face value. Cleaning a coin, especially with chemicals or abrasives, significantly reduces its value and is highly discouraged in the numismatic community. Natural patina is always preferred over artificially altered appearances. Online marketplaces like eBay often lists 1947 no-mint mark wheat pennies for sale, and the final sale price can vary based on presentation, shipping costs, and buyer interest. A black-toned circulated example may sell for 10 to 20 cents when sold individually, often only when paired with free shipping or bundled with other coins. In bulk sales, such as rolls of circulated wheat pennies, the individual value can drop to as low as 2 cents per coin. If you're wondering whether it's worth selling or holding on to a black-toned 1947 Lincoln Wheat penny, the answer depends on your goals. If you're assembling a low-cost wheat penny set or enjoy collecting for historical reasons, keeping it can be satisfying. But if you're hoping for significant profit, it may be better to focus on coins in better condition or with rarer attributes. Some collectors specialize in errors and varieties, and that's one area where even a darkened 1947 penny might become more valuable. If your coin exhibits a doubled die, repunched mint mark, though this applies more to Denver or San Francisco coins, or a die crack, it could attract attention from specialists. In such cases, professional evaluation and certification by a service, like PCGS or NGC, could increase its value. In summary, the 1947 Lincoln wheat penny, without a mint mark, is generally common and low in monetary value when found in black-toned circulated condition. Its value typically ranges from 1 to 5 cents, with slight increases possible for clean, evenly toned coins. While it may not be a financial treasure, it still holds historical value and can be an enjoyable part of a collection. For those passionate about American coinage, even common coins tell a story worth preserving. So, if you have one of these coins, consider it a small piece of history. You may not get rich from it, but it represents an era of American life and the enduring legacy of Abraham Lincoln. For beginners and casual collectors, it's an excellent starting point to learn more about grading, toning, and the coin market overall.
Next up, the 1958 edition without a mint mark. If you think it's just a common penny, think again. This little coin could be worth way more than you think. So stick around to find out how much these coins are worth in today's market, what makes them valuable, and how to spot a good one. The Lincoln Wheat Penny series was minted from 1909 to 1958 and is one of the most beloved coins in American numismatics. It was created to commemorate Abraham Lincoln's 100th birthday. On the front or obverse, you see Lincoln's profile, and on the back, the iconic wheat ears, which is why collectors call them wheat pennies. The 1958 penny is especially interesting because it marks the very last year the wheat penny design was used before the reverse design switched to the Lincoln Memorial in 1959. So 1958 pennies, especially without a mint mark, hold a special place for collectors as the final wheat design released from the Philadelphia Mint in 1958. Pennies were minted in Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. Pennies from Philadelphia famously do not have a mint mark, while Denver coins have a D and San Francisco coins have an S. So, when we say 1958 wheat penny without mint mark, we are referring to a Philadelphia coin. These pennies are generally more common than their Denver or San Francisco counterparts, but that doesn't mean they lack value. In fact, condition plays a huge role in determining how much a 1958 no mint mark penny can be worth. Coins are graded on their condition, from poor P to mint state MS, which is essentially flawless. For a 1958 wheat penny without mint mark, most circulated coins in average condition are worth just a few cents over face value. But coins in good condition or higher grades like very fine VF or extremely fine XF can be significantly more valuable. Good condition means the coin shows moderate wear, but the major details of Lincoln's face, wheat ears, and date are still clearly visible. For example, the coin's rim may be worn, but all lettering and numbers are readable. That kind of coin is a sweet spot for collectors who want something affordable but attractive. So, what is the current value of a 1958 Abraham Lincoln wheat penny without mint mark in good condition as of 2025? Typical prices for these coins in good condition range from about $350 each. But if you have one in higher grades like extremely fine, the value can jump to $500 or more. And for uncirculated or mint state coins, prices can soar anywhere from $1,400 depending on the exact quality. That might not sound like a lot, but remember, these pennies were once everyday currency, and finding one in great condition today is getting harder and harder. Plus, if you find a coin with a rare error or exceptional luster, it could be worth even more. Here are a few tips to help you spot valuable 1958 wheat pennies. Look for coins with sharp details on Lincoln's cheek and jawline, clear wheat stalks on the back, and strong lettering with no major scratches or corrosion. And please, don't clean your pennies harshly. Cleaning can reduce their value drastically. Instead, store them properly in coin holders or albums to preserve their natural patina. Collecting 1958 wheat pennies is not just about money, it's about owning a piece of American history. Lincoln's image on the coin has inspired generations, and these pennies are a tangible link to the past. Whether you're a beginner or a seasoned collector, Finding and keeping a 1958 no-mint mark wheat penny in good condition is a rewarding experience, and with values on the rise, it might even be a smart investment. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the 1958 Abraham Lincoln wheat penny, hit that like button, subscribe for more coin collecting tips and treasure reveals, and drop a comment below if you've ever found one of these pennies. Until next time, keep hunting those coins. You never know what you might find in your pocket change.